Welcome to the Connected Health Podcast. I'm your host, Vanessa Coe, integrative health practitioner, functional nutritionist, personal trainer, and the creator of the business Connected Habits Coaching. This podcast is for anyone who feels off, like something isn't right in your body, even if no one has validated it yet. Maybe you're tired or bloated, anxious, gaining weight, losing motivation, and you've been told it's just stress or your age or bad luck. I'm here to tell you it's not all in your head. And no, your body is not broken. I believe that a body out of balance will always speak to us through symptoms. And when we learn to listen, instead of suppress those signals, cover them up, ignore them, we can actually get to the root of what's going on, restore balance, and bring the body back to a state of harmony. I truly believe that our bodies are designed to heal and regulate themselves, but only when they're supported, and that's what this podcast is about. My aim is to educate you in short 20 to 30-minute podcasts on anything health-related and help you take control of your health and restore balance to your body. I wanted to take a few minutes and talk about what connected health actually means. It's formed from the name of my business, Connected Habits Coaching, and it's the idea that a healthy lifestyle comes from a pattern of healthy choices. So each choice you make that is healthy will form a habit that is healthy. And those healthy habits all together connected will make a healthy lifestyle. It's not about perfection. It's about alignment. It's about reconnecting with your body, understanding how your systems work to bring you the best health, and making sustainable changes that bring energy, clarity, and confidence back into your life. I'm not about extremes. I'm not about fads. I'm about what at the core of it works for people day to day, choice by choice. I'll give you real-world strategies that will meet you where you are. No extremes and absolutely no shame for what you've tried in the past that didn't work. This podcast episode, we are going to talk about the main hormones in your body that drives a lot of weight, metabolism, and energy. This episode is going to start out talking about your key hormone players in your body, what drives metabolism, energy, mood, and what can happen when they're out of balance, symptoms that you can pay attention to, and real-world solutions that will help you get those hormones back into balance. When your hormones are out of balance, either too high or too low, your body's going to let you know. It's going to send you signals. The first hormone we're going to talk about is cortisol. You may have heard of it, but it is primarily known as a stress response hormone. It keeps you alive and alert when you need to be. It gets you out of bed in the morning, and lower levels of cortisol will help you relax and fall asleep at night. It manages inflammation, it manages your blood sugar, and it takes a part in how you feel energetically. When it's too high, when cortisol is out of range on the high end, you might experience symptoms like anxiety, racing thoughts, trouble falling asleep, weight gain in your midsection, sugar and salt cravings, and irritability or feeling on edge. When it's too low chronically, some people may describe this as burnout. You're going to feel fatigue in the morning, even though you feel like you slept a good amount of time. It might lead to brain fog, inflammation all over your body, low motivation, poor stress tolerance, and just feeling like emotionally numb. Healthy levels of cortisol, you're going to feel more balanced throughout the day, not emotionally charged either direction, either too understimulated. It's going to feel like a nice happy medium, and you're going to feel the right amount of energy to get through different parts of your day. The next hormone we're going to talk about is insulin. It's related to blood sugar. It's related to fat storage. So basically what it does is when you eat something, insulin is released by the pancreas and it moves energy from food or glucose into the cell so you can use it for energy. When it's working, your blood sugar stays stable. When it's too high, that is a collection and cluster of symptoms that we call insulin resistance. You could have weight gain. You could have cravings even after you ate or you're feeling hungry. You might have energy crashes. Some people will have dark patches of skin at the back of their neck and their armpits in those natural folded areas. And then women will experience PCOS symptoms. Insulin on the low end, this can happen when you're fasting too long or you're having blood sugar crashes. You might feel shaky or dizzy. You might feel that commonly known as being hangry. You could have headaches, feeling anxious or weak in between meals. And I have an entire video training on blood sugar. It is going to be on my YouTube page, Connected Habits Coaching. You can find it on there. Moving on to estrogen. This is a huge hormone. It is present in both men and women, but obviously more present in women, and it's more important in the roles of what happens in women's lives. It's affecting your growth, your mood, and it's a libido hormone. It's one of your sex hormones. What it does is it supports your mood, your metabolism, your brain function, your skin, your bones, and your reproductive health overall. For women, when estrogen is too high, we call that estrogen dominance. You're going to have heavy, painful periods. You're going to have breast tenderness or fibrocystic breasts. Fun fact, when estrogen is too present in men, it leads to excessive breast tissue, or you might call that man boobs. That's called gynecomastia, and that's an excess of estrogen in men. There's an issue there where the sex hormones are imbalanced, and that's why they have that condition. When estrogen is high, it can also lead to bloating and water retention, weight gain in the hips, thighs, or lower belly to support the function of women for reproductive purposes. And when it's too low, that's going to lead to symptoms like vaginal dryness or low libido, brain fog, poor memory, hot flashes, night sweats, depression, apathy, dry skin, and joint pain. Based on all of these symptoms just listed on a few of these hormones, you can already see that they drive so much of your day-to-day experience as a person and can contribute to what you might be feeling in your body as symptoms. Moving on to progesterone. This is the calming, balancing hormone, and women with estrogen dominance are going to have less progesterone or not enough progesterone to balance out that estrogen. The estrogen's more intense. The progesterone is more calming. They do work together. They have a nice, healthy balance at different times of a woman's cycle, but it is very important. It keeps that estrogen in check. It supports your sleep, your mood, your cycle regularity, and it's still important for fertility. You need adequate amounts of both hormones to have that healthy cycle and to have healthy fertility. When it's too low, it's pretty common. You're going to experience anxiety, restlessness, insomnia. You might have spotting before your period. It could cause irregular periods, either short cycles or very random cycles. And it is contributing, when it is too low, to have PMS and mood swings, and then difficulty getting and staying pregnant. Progesterone is so important. So with a lot of my clients that are having hormonal issues, I want to focus on supporting that progesterone production so that the estrogen's not taking over too much. On the other end, high progesterone is not very common. It usually happens during pregnancy or when women are on certain medications, but it'll cause things like fatigue, dizziness, or breast tenderness in excess. And you can see that there's a little bit of overlap in those symptoms with too much estrogen. So it is important to monitor both of the levels of your estrogen and progesterone and figure out what kind of pattern that your body is on. If the pattern is out of a healthy range, we want to pay attention and help those get rebalanced. Moving on to the thyroid, it's a butterfly-shaped gland in your neck, and it is important for so many things. We call it the thermostat of the body, actually. It controls your metabolism, your energy. It controls your body temperature, your digestion, and your brain function. I could spend an entire episode talking about the thyroid because so many women have thyroid problems. The key hormones are going to be T3 and T4. When T3 and T4 are not in the right amounts and your thyroid function is too low, we call that hypothyroidism. That is an underfunctioning of the thyroid. You're going to feel fatigue. You're going to feel sluggish. You might experience cold hands, cold feet, weight gain, constipation. Some women will notice the outer third of your eyebrow is going to start to thin. So that part of your eyebrow might start to fall out and disappear. And then you're going to have also brain fog and depression. And then on the other end, when it's too high, hyperthyroidism, you're going to experience anxiety, restlessness, rapid heartbeat, weight loss, despite eating, because it speeds up your metabolism, insomnia, diarrhea, or loose stools, and feeling overheated and sweaty. Every symptom you're experiencing is your body communicating with you. It's not random. It's not just aging, but these are all signals of these hormones and these systems in your body saying, hey, pay attention to me. Something's going on. And when these hormones are out of balance, they affect everything from your digestion to your relationships, because your mood is off and you're not feeling like yourself and you're more irritable or withdrawn. But the good news is we can do something about it. Now you know what hormones will look like symptom-wise and sensation-wise in your body when they're thrown off. Let me talk about why they're thrown off. So modern life is a blessing and a curse at the same time. It gives women more opportunities to thrive in the workplace, to have careers, to be busy and be productive in society. But it also throws women out of balance. With every progression in society, there's also a drawback. Women are not meant to run at the pace of men. We're not meant to compete with men. We're made for our own special purposes. And modern life and modern stresses living in the world can throw women out of balance due to constant stress. One of those things that can make these hormones kind of get out of whack is consistent choices of skipping meals, overtraining, undersleeping, and overworking. Those are all choices that consistently become habits, and you can form good habits or you can form poor habits around those things. Another thing that is affecting our hormone levels in modern life and modern society is chronic stress and chronic nervous system dysregulation. I will get into this more in future podcasts, but essentially when we come across any kind of stress, whether you're running 5 minutes late and you're stuck in traffic, or you're out in the woods and you hear a big sound of something chasing you, your body doesn't know which is more life-threatening. You're likely not going to be physically hurt when you're sitting in traffic, but you are likely to be physically hurt when something is chasing you in the woods and it's dark outside. But your body detects stress as stress. It doesn't matter where it's coming from. The body feels like it has to protect you. And it will go into intense measures, including regulating, upregulating, or downregulating these hormones in order to do so. So whatever the severity of the stress is, you can analyze it in your head, but your body goes into the same response of, oh my goodness, I'm in danger. I need to protect myself. And when it's less severe, like sitting in traffic, or more severe, like your life is in danger, repeated releases of those stress hormones and patterns that the body goes through for protection, even if you're not under real threat, those patterns over time will cause hormonal imbalance and hormonal chaos, and it's not healthy for your body system overall. There's other stressors to the body that might not be psychological or physical, but they could come from the environment, or it could come from within. Think about gut imbalances and toxicity coming from the environment, whether it be unfiltered water, chemically filled air, toxins from the personal care products that we use on our bodies every single day. A lot of women wear makeup and use lotions and perfumes and scented products with ingredients that are actually harmful to our body, and with daily exposure and constant exposure can cause a physical and environmental stress on the body as well. So all of these things put together, from lifestyle choices to personal care products, environmental triggers, and psychological and physical stressors in life, all of these together can overload the body and cause hormones to behave in different ways to protect us, but are actually, over time, with things being so chronically stressed, will do us a disservice. Your body is not failing you. It is setting all of these things up to protect you. Your body's innately intelligent and wise to do what it's supposed to do to keep you safe. Your brain's number one instinct is to keep you alive. So it'll send signals to your hormones and to the rest of your body for those life-saving mechanisms and processes in your body. It's adapting to a system that is out of a healthy, natural rhythm. And when it's like that chronically, that's when hormones start to act out of whack. Either there's too much or too little, and it needs support. If your body is experiencing any or a lot of these hormonal symptoms from either hormones being too low or too high, you need to start paying attention to that and not accepting that as normal. While modern life is stressful, we weren't designed to live in a stressful state all the time. That is not our best. That's not our most happy and radiant time of life. And you don't have to accept it. I'm so passionate about this because I spent a lot of time burned out through different careers and different seasons in my life, and all my hormones were tanked. And I was absolutely miserable, almost like dead to myself, so numb. And then when I wanted to do things that I wanted to do, I was absolutely frustrated, but my body couldn't. It just couldn't do it. I had pushed for so long and so hard that I just couldn't continue. And that was the moment where I hit a wall and I had to take a break. I had to, in order to heal and restore those hormones and just get back into happy function. I don't want you to get to the point where I did, where I had to stop operations in order to get that function back. So pay attention to these signals that your body is sending you now so that you can start to correct the course before you go crashing into a wall. This is where I come in as an integrative health coach that really focuses on habits. I have frameworks and systems in the way that I coach people that identify the biggest things that we need to focus on and come up with a step-by-step strategic way to restore health and harmony to your hormones and to your overall body. I do this in phases. Usually phase 1 is to test out and see what's going on. Sometimes we'll incorporate the use of functional lab testing. I can test blood, we can test urine, we can test saliva or blood for hormones, see where things are at. And then with the data there, I do make decisions for my clients to progress in their health. Let's say something's going on with the insulin. We test the insulin, we test the glucose, and there is some high blood sugar going on. It's pretty common. You might see this in people who are diabetic or pre-diabetic. They're going to have high numbers of that. And through lifestyle and dietary choices, we can get those numbers back down to a normal and healthy state. I take the data from the lab tests, make decisions, collaborate with my clients on what the best way forward is for them. Maybe they're not ready to make a big change all at once. That's okay. I break it down to something that they can sustainably handle. We don't go to extremes. We don't go from one end of the spectrum to the other in terms of diet and lifestyle changes. We take it slow. I love the collaboration process with my clients because I'm able to show them, here's what's going on in your body. Here's what I think you can do. Let's figure out on a plan for the next few weeks that we are going to stick to together. I'll hold your hand, I'll answer your questions, but we can do this as a team. And along the way, we'll assess if something's working, we're going to keep going and we might add a little more. If something's not working, we're going to pivot and change. If it's something that we think we can do, like a new habit, but upon application, it's actually a little bit too much, we can scale it back to something comfortable so that my clients can feel confident in what they are able to achieve from day to day. And that's the whole process of change. I tell people to envision a roadmap. This is where you're starting, and these are different places on the journey that we're going to go. And then towards the end of your journey, it is lifelong. There's really no ending, but there is a way to better health and radiance and energy and happiness and vibrancy in your body. And I'm there with you as a guide along your journey. My goal at the end of working with me is for my clients to be able to do these things on their own, to maintain the change and the progress that they have already made and live happy, vibrant, healthy lives and teach other people to do that also. In the next few episodes, I want to focus on hormones, like teaching you what a healthy menstrual cycle actually looks like, how cortisol could be secretly wrecking your weight loss progress, and branch out on any sort of health topic from there. For now, I want you to take a free hormone assessment quiz. You can find it in the show notes. I'll also have it linked in the description box. You can find it on any of my social media pages. You can also join my Facebook group. I have a Facebook group called Connected Habits, a community for holistic and sustainable health. And you are welcome to join the group, and I'll teach you from week to week about healthy habits, nutrition, and you can feel free to ask any health-related questions for me to answer. Please subscribe to this podcast. I'm very excited to produce these episodes and help people with their health questions. If you really like what you found here or found it very valuable, please share it with a friend. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Connected Health Podcast. If you're feeling like your body is trying to tell you something, but you're not sure how to listen or where to start, I want you to know you're not alone. Your symptoms are not random. It's your body trying to communicate something with you, and the best thing that you can do is slow down and listen. When we learn to decode those signals, we start to restore balance, rebuild energy, and reconnect with the vibrant version of ourselves that's still there underneath it all. I'm so glad you're here. I'll see you next time.